I used to think college would be the best time of my life. Freedom, new faces, dreams that felt close enough to touch. Everyone said, enjoy it while it lasts, these are the best years. And for a while, I believed them. Late night talks, coffee-fueled study sessions, plans for the future, all felt so alive. But then something started to change. Not all at once. Slowly. I began waking up tired. No matter how much I slept, I'd sit in class, staring at the board, hearing words but not listening. My notes got shorter, my motivation thinner. It wasn't stress, it was emptiness. Like a slow leak you don't notice until everything inside you is gone. I told myself it was just a bad week, then a bad month. But deep down, I knew it wasn't going away. I was burning out, and I didn't even realize it. The first rail hit came from work. I was doing part-time shifts to help pay rent. My boss pulled me aside one evening, said I'd been off. I nodded, promised to do better. A week later, they cut my hours. A few days after that, I lost the job. Around the same time, my girlfriend stopped calling as much. She said I felt distant. And she was right. I was there, but not really there. Every conversation felt like an effort. I stopped showing up for her the way I used to. And eventually, she stopped waiting for me to. School didn't go any better. My grades dropped. I'd open my laptop and just stare. Pages of notes meant nothing. Assignments piled up. I'd think, I'll do it tomorrow, knowing deep down that I wouldn't. Even my friends noticed. They stopped inviting me out, not because they stopped caring, but because I always said no. I'm busy, I'd say. But the truth was, I just couldn't find the energy to pretend everything was fine. One night, I came home after another failed attempt to study. I dropped my bag, sat on the floor, and just stared at the wall. The silence was heavy, too heavy. I turned off the lights, hoping maybe darkness would make it easier to think. But it didn't. I remember whispering to myself, what's the point? I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I just didn't care anymore. The things that used to matter, grades, relationships, future plans, they all felt meaningless. Like I was running on autopilot through a life that wasn't even mine. I thought maybe I was broken, that something inside me had died quietly, and I didn't even notice when it happened. I remember thinking, if life keeps feeling like this, what's left to fight for? The next morning, I woke up to a message from a friend I hadn't talked to in months. Just 5 words. Hey man, are you okay? I stared at that message for a long time. I didn't even know how to answer. But something about it, the fact that someone noticed, hit me harder than I expected. I didn't reply right away. I didn't even have the strength to. But that small reminder that I wasn't completely invisible planted a tiny spark inside me. That night, I went for a walk. No music, no distractions. Just me, the cold air, and the sound of my own footsteps. For the first time in months, I felt something real. Not happiness, but something close. Like maybe, just maybe, I still existed. The next few weeks weren't some magical recovery story. There were still days I couldn't get out of bed. Still nights I stared at the ceiling, fighting the same thoughts. But I started doing small things. I reached out to that friend, told him I wasn't doing great. He didn't give advice. He just listened, and somehow that made the weight a little lighter. I started journaling, taking walks, drinking water, forcing myself to eat real meals. It sounds simple, almost stupid, but those small acts were my way back. Slowly, my days started to feel less like survival and more like life. I learned that burnout doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It tells you you're fine while quietly draining everything that makes you human. And healing is not fast or clean. It's messy. It's painful. But it's possible. Looking back now, I realize something. Life didn't fall apart to destroy me. It fell apart to rebuild me. To show me that even when everything feels meaningless, it isn't the end. It's the beginning of something real. If you're listening to this and it sounds like your story, just remember, you're not broken. You're just tired. And you still have time to find your way back.